back to the Betting Public Sports Show. We're here with our favorite baseball coach, the great Michael Mayden of Chicago. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing great. And you?
I'm fine as well. And always gracious that you're here to spend time with us, even if it's short time.
Well, I'm just honored. I'm honored to be on your show.
All right. So what
You
was
feel
last time?
important.
No, we definitely. I appreciate that. Um, Last time we talked, you had mentioned some things that I kind of wanted to get into a little bit over the next couple of times we talk. But one thing in particular was that you said you had some struggles of getting black baseball team together and sponsorships and whatnot. You care to talk about some of that?
You're freezing up on me. Can you one more time?
Okay, no, okay. The last time we talked, you had mentioned some struggles you were having, fielding a baseball team in the inner city of Chicago. You want to talk about some of those struggles?
Yeah. Well, it's very tough to be African American and try to make something happen in our community. I mean, we have worked to bring back a version of Negro League baseball, or modern day version. We reached out to a number of supporters and boosters and business community that embraced what we were trying to do, and a lot of them made commitments that they would support and they would help us with funding. And when it was time to come through with that funding, the funding was not there, and consequently, we had the league going. I think we had it going down in Mississippi for about 6 weeks. And then we had to fold the league because, again, we had expenses that went with operating a full-fledged league. And basically, we were hit with a perfect storm that we just didn't anticipate. We thought we were coming into a new city and that we would have the community to embrace it. We were down in Old Mississippi. We thought because we were in a black area that the black community would come out and embrace having their own professional baseball league coming to town, minor league version. We thought the business community was on board, and this those that we have reached out to that made commitments to us that they would help fund the league. And it didn't happen. All of a sudden we're down there and we gotta meet expenses that go with operating league. And all of a sudden, the funds just didn't come through. And anything you're doing something when it, in business, that's a reality. That's possible. That's going to be a failure, and that's possible. That's going to be a success. But people don't understand that part of it. They just think if it didn't go well, you got the money, you took the money and ran. That's the mentality we have of our people. But it's a market for what we were attempting to do, and we haven't given up on it. We hope to still come back with it somewhere in the very, very near future. Working on some things now, but there's a market for African American baseball. In professional sports, I tell people all the time, the black dollar is baseball. You look at what's in the stands, and it's mostly non-black as far as the fan base. Major League Baseball have not figured out a way to tap into the black dollar.
Mm-hmm.
NBA, you got a court full of black players, but the audience, the fan base, is predominantly white.
Mm-hmm.
And the same with NFL. So, but we see when you take in Southern and Jackson State, for example, the Bayou class, Southern and Grambling, I should say.
Right.
Football. They come from all over. That's a big event. Mm-hmm. That's the Super Bowl of college football, of black people coming out to support. And consequently, you got other cities, Indianapolis and Chicago, that kind of attach on to that with the Circle Classic and so on and so forth, college football. But, if you go around to the black players, they may not say it publicly, but when they look up in the stands and they see stands full of black folks, and I don't mean to sound racist, but I'm dealing with reality. They'll tell you they like the flavor. I've heard them, or I like the flavor. They like seeing black people in the stands. So what I'm saying, I say that when it comes to black baseball, there's a market among ourselves for entertainment in the game. Negro League Baseball was the number 3 grossing economy in the black community when it was at its peak. It was outselling Major League Baseball as far as attendance.
Okay.
So there's a market for African American baseball, for a developmental league that's going to develop our ball players, and then say to Major League Baseball, here's a finished product. Take these players and increase the minority participation in baseball, and don't just give us an annual Jackie Robinson Day, but yet Major League Baseball is steady decline in African American baseball players on the field, and they know it. They know it. They do the data, they do the statistics, but they're not going to talk about it.
So, what do you think some of the?
So we made a.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We made an attempt to bring professional baseball to the black community, and just because it was not a success at that time, don't mean that we're through with it. By no means, it just means we've been delayed. We've been delayed. When you're the pioneer of something, when you're the architect of something that have not existed or have not existed for years, it takes a little bit more effort to come back and to convince people that this is something that the community would embrace.
Okay, so what are some of the have you talking to Major League Baseball about your feelings and what you're going through?
Not directly, but I'll just say this: when we reached out to some avenues in the Major League market, it came back to us that Major League Baseball prohibits. Well, I want to be politically correct. Let's put it this way: Major League Baseball is not going to invest their time and energy into promoting another quote unquote professional baseball. And, they got minor league baseball, which is their version, but minor league baseball don't cater to the African American baseball player. You need an African American league, and a lot of people say, well, that's not appropriate in the time that we're living in. We need an African American developmental league that's going to cater to ball players outside, that bypass the high school level play, that bypass the collegiate level play, because we got these breakthrough series and the other so-called developmental programs in Major League Baseball is investing for the amateur baseball player and to get more blacks and minorities and inner city kids engaged in the sport of baseball. But when you get through with these RBI programs, these other programs that, if you want to say they're developing the ball players, once they get past 17 years old, that's it. Major League Baseball is through with them. Mm-hmm. So if you have nothing to take and harness that and take them past a 17-year-old, to take them past the high school level, and to take them past the collegiate level as far as development, well, what's the purpose in having those programs when, you got your minor leagues, you got your independent leagues out there, and they're past high school, past collegiate, those ball players that are finished on those levels. But again, they're not harnessing in the African American baseball player. We're talking about something that's not necessarily all African Americans, but go center its attention around the African American baseball player, past high school, past 16, 17 years old. So the force is we're investing in getting more minorities involved in baseball, but we're not investing in getting them in that developmental stage where we get them into the minor leagues and drafting them and getting them into the major leagues. That's two different things.
Okay, so what would you like to see done by them, or what do you think is the best way to accomplish that?
Well, let me just say this. I would like to see the black community embrace a developmental league, a quote unquote, a black minor league structure where players can come together and play and develop, and not necessarily Major League Baseball, because when we as black people, I'm getting on my black kick now. February is over. Black History Month is over. But we as black people turn over $1.6 trillion in this economy. We are a nation of our own. So we have the dollars to create our league, to fund our league, to keep it going, and to patronize our league. Take vacations and come to that city and come out and watch Junebug and Johnny and Ray Ray play baseball. on a competitive level, not something that you shake your head and you ready to leave at the first inning because the score 13-0 at the first inning. The pitcher didn't walk 15 batters in the first 2 innings. Not that I'm talking about real competitive baseball, where you got black players coming in from all over the country, housed, fed, clothed, at one location where you can have baseball game, a 12 o'clock baseball game, a 3 o'clock baseball game, and a 7 o'clock baseball game, all at one site. That's the vision. All at one site. So you got it going on from June to the end of August, baseball. To the end of August, and then you turn around with a fall league from October to the end of November, just before Thanksgiving. So you got baseball going on basically 6 months out of a year at a developmental level that's going to instruct ball players, teach ball players, and give them a chance to play. And at the same time, they become a vacation and a tourist attraction to a city coming near you. It's in the works. All we got to do is secure that site and have the proper funding to make it happen.
Is something?
So maybe somebody watching your show right now want to reach out to coach, say, Coach, you're talking something that I hear you. How can I help you? Call the coach. Call the coach. Call the show. He'll tell you how to get in touch with coach.
Well, okay, what can they reach you at? I'll put the number on the screen.
They just go on my website, look up Coach Mayden.
Coach Mayden.
Google Coach Mayden, and I'll pop up all over there. Or go to MEM247.com, my website, which stands for Michael E. Mayden. MEM, Michael E. Mayden, 247.com. My phone number on there, my email on there. You can even, it's on there, you can see our channels. And you can also find out how you can sponsor this and bring on other people, because this is a vision that goes broad and deep. And I don't, when I launched our league originally, I got texts and emails from Africa. Some guy in Africa heard about the league, and he wanted to know, what do we have to do to bring this league to Africa? So not only does it become a local league, it become an international league where you can go in the off season, play in Africa and other countries and develop baseball. So the vision is broad, but you got to tap into the financial resource to make it happen.
Is this kind of something? It sounds similar to some of these those baseball academies in like some of those third world countries like Venezuela and Curacao and things like that. Does that sound similar?
Well, it has the similar structure, but we call it a developmental league, and we don't want to call it professional league because different criteria is going to be called professional league. But basically, it's a minor league structure that's going to develop baseball players, train them, produce them, and take on the next level. And I mean, right now the highest level you can go to is Major League Baseball. And you got 750, you got 30 teams, 25 players, 750 players, or size 26 players now. So you got 700. Coach, you got to mute his phone. You got 771 ball players, 81 ball players in the major leagues. And less than 50 of those are black players. Something's wrong with that picture. Less than 50 out of 781 ball players, professional ball players. You got 30 teams and no black manager in professional baseball. You got 4 umpires to a game, 60 umpires per game if you got all teams playing at the same time, and you got 1 black umpire in Major League Baseball. And don't fool yourself. Major League Baseball is just like your politicians. They know they know the data, they know the statistics, they know these numbers. But again, they're making billions of dollars without the black dollar, and they're constantly trying to expand the game. They're going to the pitch clock and the bigger bases to speed the game up, because guess what? They got that older generation locked in. They're trying to get that young generation that I think they call it the wide game, so they can tap into those billions of dollars that's out there by this millennial group. You know, when we were young or we were coming up, if your parents made $100,000, $200,000 in a lifetime, that was a lot. You got a millennial generation right now sitting up there with $500,000, $1 million sitting in their bank account at 25, 26, 27 years old. They trying to tap into those dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And they saying the game is boring. I can't go. The game is too long. It's boring. So they trying to find ways to speed the game up so they can get that crowd into the game. And all we're saying is we want a piece of the pie. We'll create our own league. We'll develop our own ball play. We'll develop our own minor league system. Not blacks only, but geared toward blacks. And we'll produce our own product. And if you don't allow us to come to the table then we'll create our own, carve out our own pie, and they come to us just like they do the Bayou Classic.
Interesting. Can I play devil's advocate real quick one time?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Okay, what if somebody says like, hey, well, you had one 60 years ago, brought Jackie Robinson up, and you stopped the Negro League. You could have kept doing that. What do you say then?
Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. You know, one thing about the good book, it says history only repeats itself over and over and over, just in a modern day form. So we had Negro League baseball, and it's gone. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. You know, I watched a show, Jeopardy.
Okay.
I'm sure you're familiar with Jeopardy.
Yes, sir.
It's very popular here in the United States. You know, it was actually on TV in another country, and they brought it over here. And we think it's new because we're seeing it here, but it's been on TV a long time in other countries.
Yeah, I've heard that story, yeah.
And I take it like one part. We all familiar with Popeyes, Popeyes chicken?
Yes.
I used to go down to Louisiana back in the days with Southern, back in the days with Daddy K-Dot, and I had players went to Southern. And I went down there. Popeyes chicken was down in Southern Baton Rouge in the 80s, early, all over the place. Eventually they expanded, and they all over the place now. We think Popeyes is something new. It's been around in Louisiana for years.
Right.
So, yeah, Negro League baseball was a thing of the past, but now let's bring it back and let's make it better.
I agree. That sounds good. Hey, Coach, listen, I know you said you have to go, so we're going to honor that. So I don't want to hold you up too much longer. But you got any more before you give us a final thought, put up your or say your website and whatnot again in your YouTube channel again, and give us a passing thought for the next time we hook up.
Well, I'm heading out actually. The Baltimore Orioles are in town, so I'm heading out to get some major league interviews. But you can catch me on my website at mem247.com or memayden.com, but it's more short of MEM for Michael Mayden, the number 247.com. And I'm on YouTube. I got MLB Classic Major League Interviews. I got Satchel Paige All-Stars Travel Baseball Team. I got White Sox Nation for those White Sox fans. I got it all. And if you want to catch me preaching, you even catch me preaching too, because I'm an ordained minister of the gospel too.
Oh, okay.
So the coach is out there. I'm doing it. And I tell them, I can preach you saved. I can hold intelligent conversation with you, and I can talk sports with you. I'm well-rounded. I'm not just one-dimensional.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
but,
sir.
I enjoy this show, and I look forward to it. Fortunately, I got to get out to the ballpark, so we got to cut it short. But, I want to say this about this league. This has been in me since I was a kid. It's been burning in me. I saw this vision. I saw it. And I thought I'd birthed it when we went down to Lower Mississippi, and I was premature. I guess we was premature. So we just come back. It's still in me. The burning desire is still in me. And, sometimes you got to fail to succeed.
Exactly.
And we went forward, and we didn't, there's some things, we thought we had it all worked out, but there was, like I said, a perfect storm hit. People dropped off, people didn't do it, and it just caught us off guard, and it blindsided us. But we're prepared. We're working for it. We're working behind the scenes. COVID set us back a couple of years, and we're working, but everything is ready to go. Just gotta find that site where we go operate out of and get those dollars on board.
Absolutely, and all hands on deck with this, because I'm down with this, and I hope you all watching will be as excited as I am to. But Coach, once again, we thank you for your time, and we'll be back. Next week I'm busy. You got the fight. You got the fight in Vegas. I'll be out in Vegas.
Time and, oh Lord, I ain't get invited to Vegas, man. See, you like I tell my players that you treat me like a stepchild.
I got you, man. No, I kind of got invited, special invite from some cat I know. But we're gonna be out there, so we'll skip next week and we'll be back the week after. I wish I could. Trust me, maybe we will be able to if we pull off this minor league thing here for you. But yeah, so we'll be back the weekend after that. We'll try and hook something up. And if you can't bring one of those ball players to your interview with you,
I'll work on it just for you. I tell them I know you. They probably come there.
Appreciate it. Hey, thanks for your time, Coach. We'll be back soon.
All right, thanks. Peace out.
Thank you, Coach.